So hi, my name is Mahesh, working as a senior software developer in Java and Android related technologies. So in our previous videos, I explained what is in by Android, so what Android consists, and what are the major advantages of Android, and all these things we discussed in our previous sessions. So in this session, I'll explain you how many ways to configure the Android environment. For example, if you want to work with Android, there are different ways to configure the Android environment. Okay, so here you can configure the Android environment manually, or you can configure the Android environment by using ADT bundle, or you can configure the Android environment by using Android Studio. So these are the three different ways. By using these three ways, you can configure the Android environment. The first one is manually you can configure the environment. By using ADT bundle, you can configure the environment. By using Android Studio, you can configure the Android environment. So which one is the best one? Okay, as per my experience, I faced some problems with ADT bundle and Android Studio. So I prefer better to configure the Android environment by using manually. So if you want to set up the Android environment manually, so total we need three softwares. So one is, we need Eclipse IDE, we need Eclipse IDE. Next, we need ADT plugin. Next, another one is Android SDK. So if you want to set up the Android environment manually, so we need Eclipse IDE, ADT plugin and Android SDK. So in our previous videos, I explained for developing Android applications, we are going to take an IDE support. So that IDE is nothing but Eclipse IDE. Eclipse IDE provides rich development environment for Android application development. So here, Eclipse is not specially designed for Android. Okay, by using Eclipse, you can develop Java applications, you can develop Android applications, you can develop C and C++ applications, you can develop database applications also. So here, initially, Eclipse don't know about Android application development. To specify Android application development to Eclipse, we need to add one plugin. That plugin name is nothing but ADT plugin. ADT is termed as Android Development Tools. To specify Android application development to Eclipse, we need to add this plugin, ADT plugin. So next, first we need to copy these plugins to Eclipse IDE. So next, we need to set the location for Android SDK. You can use ADT bundle or Android Studio also, but as per my experience, I faced some problems with ADT bundle and Android Studio. Okay, so I'll show you how to configure the environment by using manually. Okay, so to set up the environment manually, we need Eclipse IDE, ADT plugin and Android SDK. Now I will show you how to set up the environment by using manually. Okay, so we'll see how to set up the Android environment manually. So to set up the Android environment manually, so we need three softwares. One is Eclipse IDE, ADT plugin and Android SDK. So in my system, it is located in this folder, so Android software. So to set up the Android environment, we need ADT, next Android SDK and Eclipse IDE. Okay, the first step to set up the Android environment is, copy all the files from ADT, so paste into the Eclipse root folder. This is the first step. Step 1 to set up the Android environment. So copy all the files from ADT, so paste into the Eclipse root directory. I'll do this step. So open Eclipse ADT folder. Okay, so copy all the files from ADT. Folder, and next paste into the Eclipse root directory. This is the first step. Eclipse is already having some features and plugins. You need to replace the features and plugins. This is the first step. Okay, so first step is copy all the files from ADT and paste into the Eclipse root folder. So this step is completed. Okay, next, step 2. Step 2 is start Eclipse application. Step 2 is start Eclipse application. This is a step 2. So we copied all the files from ADT into Eclipse root folder. Start Eclipse. So start Eclipse application. Okay, so generally it will ask the workspace location. Okay, so next is specify the workspace. Specify the workspace location. Workspace means nothing but just on storage location where you want to store the Android projects. This is the second step. Next, step 3. Start Eclipse application and specify the workspace location. This is step 2. And now step 3 is, this is the Eclipse home screen. Okay, if you want to set up the Android environment, the third step is the Eclipse tools and libraries which are available in one folder called Android SDK. So you need to specify the location of that Android SDK. Okay, so the third step is specify the workspace, specify the Android SDK location. The third step is specify the Android SDK location. How to specify the Android SDK location? To specify the Android SDK location, so in the menu options, there is an option called window. Select window, then select preferences. So in preferences, select Android. Next, select browse option. Select browse option, and you need to specify the Android. Need to specify the Android SDK location where the Android SDK is available. So I'll repeat the third step once again. So that Android libraries and Android tools are available in Android SDK. We need to specify the location of Android SDK in your system. So for that, to specify the Android SDK location, select window option in the menu bar, and next in window select preferences. Select Android, select browse option. You need to specify the location of Android SDK. Okay, we'll do this one. So here in menu bar, select window, select preferences, and next select Android, select browse option. Here you will get browse option, select browse, and you need to specify the where the Android SDK is available, Android SDK folder. In my system, it is available in F drive. There is a folder called Android softwares. So this is a storage location of Android SDK. Specify the Android SDK location, and next select apply. So once the Android SDK is configured, you will get all the versions of Android 1.5, Android 1.5. Initial version of Android is 1.5. Now the latest version of Android is 4.4, but in my system it is configured up to 4.2. Okay, so this is how to set up the Android environment. Okay, it's very simple. So we need three things. One is ADT plugin, and the Eclipse IDE, and Android SDK. So by using these three individual softwares, you can set up the Android environment, or you can go for ADT bundle or Android Studio. But as per my experience, so it's better to go for manual configuration. Okay, next we'll see how to create one sample Hello World project in Android. Okay, we'll see how to create one sample Hello World project and how to run the project. Okay, select file option, select file, and next select new. If you want to create a new Android project, okay, select file, select new, select other option. So here select Android. If you configure the environment perfectly, so you'll get a folder here, you'll get a folder called Android. So select Android. Inside the Android, so I want to create one new project, so select Android application project. Select Android application project. Next, the first parameter, you need to specify what is the application name. Application and project name both are same. Let us take my project name is Hello World. What is the project name? Hello World is a project name. So for every project you need to specify the package name. By default IDE will generate a package. So for this project the package name is com.example.hello world. So package name is very important in Android, because if you want to deploy your project into Google Play, your application into Google Play, your package name should be unique in the world. Remember this point. Once if you want to deploy your application into Google Play, your package name should be unique in the world. Remember this point. So initially it is given a package name called com.example.hello world. So this is just for testing purpose. You can give any name, and later you can change the package name in the application also. Okay, this is the project name, application name, and package name. Next you need to specify the minimum required SDK, target SDK, and compile with. So why you need to specify the minimum required SDK for the application? Why you need to specify the minimum required SDK for the application? Because let us take my device version is 2.0, Android 2.0. So in the Android 2.0 I cannot play a temple run or subway surface kind of games. If I try to install the game, so application will shows a message like your device version is lower than the application version, you cannot install the application. So where they specified, so here for my application the minimum version of the application is 2.2. So if the device version is higher than 2.2, then only my application will work on that device. So you need to specify the restriction. So that restriction we are going to specify here. The minimum required SDK for the application is 2.2. Okay, if the device version is higher than 2.2, then only this application will work on that device. Okay, next, the target SDK means the current SDK. Actually it is 4.4, now the latest version, but in my system it is configured up to 4.2. So click on next. Here we selected two options here. The one is create a custom launcher icon and create an activity. We selected two options. One is create a custom launcher icon and create an activity. Okay, for every application we need to create one application icon. So by default when you create a project, IDE is automatically creating one icon. If you want to proceed, initially you can proceed, or if you have your own icon you can set the icon. And next one is create an activity. We'll discuss that activity, what is meant by activity and all the things. So initially we selected two things, one icon and one activity. So click on next. So we selected an icon. So by default it will create an icon for the application. This is the default icon. This is the default icon. IDE provides this default icon for our application. If you have your own icon, you can select the browse option. You can select the browse option and you can specify your own icon also. So if you have your own icon, you can specify your own icon. Otherwise you can proceed with the default icon. And here observe, for a single image it is created with 4 different resolutions: LDPI, MDPI, HDPI, XHDPI. So why these many, why it is created a single image in 4 different sizes? Because the big challenge for the Android application developer is we need to build a single application for supporting multiple resolutions. That is a big challenge for the Android application developer. If you take Android, if you take iOS, there is one particular standard resolution, but in case of Android 240 by 320, 320 by 480, 480 by 800, 800 by 1024. Like lot of resolutions are there. You need to build a single application for supporting multiple resolutions. So here it is created a single image in 4 different resolutions for supporting multiple resolutions. If your device is a 240 by 320, it is going to pick up from LDPI. If your device is a 320 by 480, it is going to pick up from MDPI. If your device is higher than 5 inches, it is going to pick up from HDPI. If it is a tablet, it is going to pick up from XHDPI. Like for different resolutions, it is for different resolution devices. So here also the application icon is created in 4 different resolutions. Initially by default it will create a default icon. If you want to create your own icon, select the browse option. You can specify the icon. Later we can change this one also, no problem. Okay, so click on next. So icon part is completed. Initially we selected 2 things, create an icon and create an activity. So icon part is completed. Now I am creating an activity. We'll discuss about this activity. So initially click on next. So observe, for our sample project it is creating 2 files, one activity file, another one is layout file. For our sample project it is creating 2 files, one is layout. Activity means for every single screen in the application we need to create 2 files, one Java file and one XML file. So Java file is called as activity, XML is called as layout. For every single screen we need to create 2 files, one Java file and one XML file. So Java file is called as activity, XML file is called as layout. Okay, so here for my sample project it is creating one Java file. Okay, the Java file name is main activity, and it is creating one XML file. XML file name is activity underscore main.xml. Okay, remember once again, for every screen we need to create 2 files, one is a Java file, another one is XML file. Java file is called as activity, XML file is called as layout. Click on finish. So here it is created one sample project for us. Our project name is Hello World. Our project name is Hello World. Okay, so this is on sample screen. It will print a Hello World message on surface. So now, okay, observe, in a single project, this is our project, Hello World project. Now I want to test this project. I want to test this Hello World project. How to test the project? In case of Java, there are some tools are there, Java C or Java. By using some command tools we can run the application. Okay, in case of some web applications we are going to deploy into servers. But here how to test the application? Our Android applications are working on Android platform, but here now we are developing applications on Windows platform. So how to test Android application on a Windows platform? So for this one, for testing purpose, Android is providing a tool called AVD Manager. By using this AVD Manager tool, we can create, the name itself is describing, AVD is termed as Android virtual device. AVD is termed as Android virtual device. The name itself is describing it is a virtual device. So now we need to, with the help of this AVD Manager tool, we can create one virtual Android platform on any other platform like Windows or Linux or some other platform. We can create one virtual Android platform with the help of this AVD Manager tool. Okay, so to test the application, first we need to create one AVD, or we call as emulator for testing purpose. So how to create the AVD? How to create the emulator? To create the AVD, so open the Android SDK location where Android SDK folder is available. In my system it is available in this location. Open the Android SDK Windows folder. So this is the tool. The tool is AVD manager. With the help of this AVD manager tool, we can create one virtual Android device. So double click on that tool. So this is Android virtual device manager tool. So create one new virtual device, select new option and give a name for your AVD. Give a name. Let us take my AVD name is Durga underscore Android. My Android virtual device name is Durga underscore Android is a virtual device name. Next, for every device is having some particular resolution and some particular version. Okay, select device. So for every device is having some standard resolution. So if you want to create one virtual Android device, here also you need to specify in which resolution you want to create a virtual. Here there are a lot of resolutions are there. A 7 inches, a 4 inches, a 3 inches device. Okay. So here now I want to create one virtual device for 320 by 480 resolution. I selected the resolution of the device is 320 by 480. Okay, next, every Android device is having some particular resolution and every Android device is having the version. So here there are different versions are there. For which version you want to create one virtual device, you need to select here. You can take any version. Now in latest version also you can take like select 4.4. But my suggestion is, if you select the latest version, it will take a huge amount of time to start the virtual device. So better I'm taking here Android 2.3.3 as a virtual device. Next, for the virtual device you need to specify the RAM capacity and the internal storage and the SD card storage. Let us take here, I specified the SD card size is 100 MB. So you need to fill all these properties to create one virtual device. Okay, select OK option. So AVD is created. AVD is created. So start the AVD, select the AVD or emulator, start the virtual device. Start the virtual device. It will take some time to start the virtual device. Okay. So it will take some time to start the virtual device. So I have to wait. And once the AVD is started, now we can test our Android applications. So it's better take 3.0 or lower version, because if you take 3.0 or higher version, it will take a lot of time to start the virtual device. Okay, we can select. I'm not saying we cannot select. We can select, but if we take 3.0 or higher versions, it will take a lot of time to start the virtual device. Okay. So AVD is started. This is one virtual Android device. Now I can test our applications on this AVD. Okay. So how to test this application? So how to test the application means, here our project name is Hello World. Right click on the project. Right click on the project. Select Run As option. Select Run As and select Android application. Okay, select Run As, select Android application. Observe, it will install the application. So you need to select here. So install the application on the emulator. Emulator name is Durga underscore Android. Select OK. So it will install the application. It will install the application on the virtual device. So this is our example, Hello World example. Once again I will explain you how to run the Android application. To run the application, right click on the project, select Run As Android application. So directly it will install the application on the virtual device. So this is how to set up the Android environment and one sample Hello World project. Okay, and next, so let us take, I have an Android device. I don't want to create the virtual device. Directly I have an Android device. I want to test the application in my device. I want to test the the application in my device. To test the application, you need to install some softwares like Mobile or 91 PC Suite for Android, 91 PC Suite for Android, or Moborobo. So like lot of Android PC suites are available. So install any one of the PC suite. So just all these PC suites are, but to get the device drivers. Okay. So next, connect the device with USB. Connect the Android device with USB. Right click on the project. Select Run as Application. Directly you can run the application on your device. Okay, I'll repeat once again. I don't want to test the application on AVD. Directly I want to test the application on my device. If you want to test the applications on device, so what I'm saying is, first of all you need to get the device drivers. To get the device drivers, so these softwares will be helpful to get your device drivers. So one is Mobile Go, 91 PC Suite for Android, or Moborobo. Install any one of these PC Suite, the device with the USB, and here right click on the project, select Run as Android Application. Directly you can run the Android application on your device. You don't need to create any virtual device. If you don't have the device, there is no option. You need to create. We can create a virtual device. You can test the applications. Okay. And next, observe, when you create a single project, we created one project, just we executed the project. But observe, when you create a single project, how many files are created? So one is src, next resource, libs, bin, generated, assets. Inside the resource folder, a lot of subfolders are there. So next, observe here, again lot of files are there, Android manifest.xml file and all the things. So in our next tutorial, I'll explain you, when you create a single project, why it is created these many files, what each folder contains, what is the need of all these folders, and what each folder contains. We'll discuss in our next session. Thank you.